Alrighty, good evening ladies and gentlemen, this is Hairy Muppet. Welcome back to the Hairy Bash. It is the Hairy Bash number 5. I didn't advertise as quite as much on my channel as I had the previous time, simply because I was really busy doing other stuff, but I did put a note in the discussion for the channel saying, yes, Hairy Bash 5 was going ahead. Here's the link. So hopefully a few people saw that, and some of those people were some of the people who actually signed up. So yes, let's start checking it out. So we are in the quarterfinals, and what a quarterfinal to start with. This is going to be an interesting one. I'm not sure if it's going to be interesting in a good way or a bad way, but let's start off by introducing the players. So up the top left is Mr. Power HM, otherwise known as Spear, the great and powerful Spear. He won Hairy Bash 4, so very, very impressive stuff. So definitely a player to look out for in this tournament. And it does look like he's going for a proxy barracks down here, which is quite cool. So yes, he's so far beaten Demilove in the round of 16 to get this far. Not a huge amount of players, but there were like round of 32 opponents for everybody. Obviously, a whole bunch of people didn't show up, so a whole lot of round of 32 games did get skipped. But anyway, what can we say? Mr. Spear beat Demilove, who's quite a tough customer in the round of 16. And also, Spear is from South Korea, plays for the Micro Gamers team. So some other important information about him. Yeah, and his opponent, Mr. Dougie. He is a very interesting player. Got into this position with a bit of luck. Basically, he was in the same bracket as the one and only Ender, who we've seen quite a few times in the finals of tournaments. And Ender, unfortunately, didn't show. So it always sucks because when, you know, the really high-seeded players didn't show, but Ender didn't show. So Dougie got in there ahead of him. This is the first game he's actually faced, so he got up to the quarterfinal, basically without having to play any games. So yes, and he is from Australia, plays for Team Bunny, and according to the profile which he submitted, he's currently gold and or platinum, depending on which server you go on. So that's why I said this game is interesting, because yeah, if there's anything but a steamroll on Spear's part, then it's going to be wow, what the hell is going on? Because I mean, we saw when I saw when the game loaded on. I mean, Dougie was in gold, Spear was in Grandmasters, so they were both in gold, just different shades of gold. Oh man, but we'll see what's going on here. We got 3 spine crawlers, not the best place because Spear is just running around them, but it's nice to see that play from Mr. Dougie actually realizing something was going wrong there and getting the spine crawlers out, moving one of them back, using the queen to try and soak up some damage. Does move it back, that's good, and still keeping these 2 ahead. Oh, that worker just got owned, and actually forcing the cancel on this one. The Spear moving it a little bit further back. The spine crawler almost in range to hit this stuff, but not quite. Still continuing to build out lings as fast as he can. 10 coming out at the moment, which is going to be lifting up another spine crawler and moving it a little bit further forward, and the lings going now. So Dougie really giving Spear a run for his money, and wow, he's actually pushed him off here. But I don't know, man. This is not a Grandmasters League tactic for Mr. Spear. This is more, I've got this annoying player that I want to just get out of the way, and I just want to throw some crazy stuff at him and just knock him off really quickly. And Dougie said, I am not one of those dodgy players you just push out of the way with a broom on the way to the grand final. I am actually going to be a pain in the ass about it and actually do some damage. And Spear's probably not happy about that, but yeah, it looks like he's going to have to turn around and do something else. He's got an expansion coming out already, got a couple of more barracks coming out, got a ton of barracks coming out. So he still looks like he's going to just go for a ton of early game, I am just going to wipe you from the face of the board sort of plays on Mr. Dougie. But we will see. We'll see exactly how it goes. Of course, Dougie still does not have an expansion, but presumably he's going to get one. There he goes, his expansion coming down. So looking pretty good. He's going to have link speed. He's got the expansion coming out. Quite delayed, of course, but with proxy barracks. Even the best players in the world are going to have a bit of a struggle dealing with that. And the question is, Spear, is he just going to overwhelm with this 5 barracks play? And I don't know, it definitely could be possible. And I'm not sure what Dougie's options are right now. He's got this expansion coming out, which is good. I think he needs one of 2 things at the moment. Either he needs to completely wall off with a bunch of spine crawlers and hope that holds, which is probably not going to work because, I mean, Spear can just get a bunch of marauders and then it's just game over. Or, second option, go for banelings and just absolutely massacre the Marines as they come in. And that should allow him to get onto the next stage of the game, which is the mid-game. Because these Marines are going to come down with a vengeance, and if Dougie's not ready for them, it is going to be game over. So yes, banelings absolutely the correct move, in my opinion. And we'll see exactly how they do, because he's going to be facing a crazy macro from Mr. Sphere at this point. Although it still is early game, but still, he's got that expansion up now. He's pumping out workers. Only 24 at the moment, but he's going to be pushing nice and hard, probably getting out as many mules as he can, which is only 1 at the moment, but what can you do? And yeah, so far, he is pushing out with a bunch of lings, a ton of them, morphing them into banelings, getting so many banelings. That's quite a very, very decent amount. But the mistake that Dougie is perhaps about to make is to attack. He does not want to attack. There's way too many Marines. There's way too many bunkers. This is going to be a horrible idea to attack this base. Sit back, get your 3rd base, get the creep spread, get the banelings around the map, and just move on it. Just sort of sit back, macro up, because he needs to macro up right now. His worker count is absolutely abysmal, and I don't think he's going to be able to take this base out. Not with 8 banelings, not with 20 banelings. It's not going to happen. He's taking the bunkers out, but Spear is ready. He's got a nice defense up the top as well. The 3rd bunker does go down, but Dougie is out of steam, and he's only just got through the 1st line of defense. So going to be taking out some more workers, and all right, he did destroy quite a bit, but Spear was pretty much expecting it at the moment, and Dougie is not going to just pressure this into oblivion. I mean, it's just not going to happen. Here he goes, a bunch of Marines coming up. He needs to fall back. He needs to get some banelings up. He's getting some banelings up, but he's not falling back, so this could be bad because the Marines are going to be right on top of him. These guys are going to get wasted, and the Ling's coming in, trying to do as much damage, but I don't like the chances here. Dougie he needs the baneling numbers, and the banelings are all dead, and the Lings are all dead. He's going to continue to move in, needs to fall back to his bases. Right now, he's been spending everything he has on those Lings, has not macroed up at all. And I guess this is, yeah, maybe a player like Jaedong or Life, one of the absolute best Zerg players, or definitely somebody like Petreus or King Kong, which are also in the tournaments, could put up that much attack and also get their worker numbers up. But Dougie, yeah, this is all at a completely different level for him. So yes, we'll see. He put on a nice show, but he was not able to get the worker numbers up while he was doing it. And in the end, oh, that baneling got so close, but it's just not enough. And the Marines finally going to come up, finally going to have a go. I don't think there's anything that Dougie can do about it at this point. And yes, moving in and attacking that strong position was a mistake. I mean, at that point, you just got to macro, get enough banelings to hold off any sort of Marine incursion and just macro. And unfortunately, we didn't see that, but I don't think it's fair to be judging Dougie on, well, Masters level tactics, because he's not a Masters level. So yes, it does seem like the outcome of this quarterfinal is going to be, well, you know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen, but we do have another game, best of 3, so at least one more game. Let's see what Dougie does. He may just 6-pull his way into a victory, who knows. Alright, I'll catch you guys in just a sec. Alrighty, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't need to do the intro, do I? We're past that. This is game number 2 between Spear down the bottom left and Dougie up the top right, who is indeed going for a spawning pool nice and early. It's not a 6 pool like I thought it might be, but it is, yeah, it's like a 14 pool or something like that. So fairly standard timing for a pool first build. Spear going for double barracks again. So he obviously is just like, you know what, I'm going to go in there. I'm just going to steamroll this gun. I'm going to do it properly this time, because last time it didn't quite work the way I wanted. So this time, yeah, I'm not sure if I would go for this sort of stuff. I mean, we know that Spear is just a better player than Dougie. I mean, Grandmasters on one side, Gold/Platinum on the other side. Nobody's arguing that point. But this tactic didn't work last time. And if you're a Grandmaster and you're throwing this tactic against a Gold player and it screws up, why would you do it again? I mean, I don't know. It's, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he just wants to do it. Maybe he just wants to have a go again and see how it goes. Change things a little bit differently. I don't know, man. Personally, if it was me, I would just go straight for the 5 barracks approach. Just way earlier than I did last game. Or than Spear did last game. And just go nuts again. Absolutely just nuts on the 5 barracks Marines. Because it worked pretty well last game. And the thing is, Dougie is even doing a better job at defending against this game than he did last game. He's obviously, because he's turned onto it. Last game he was just like, oh, you know, this is something coming. You know, I scrambled to deal with it. But this game he's completely on top of that proxy barracks play. He's so on top of it, it's not even funny. And yes, I don't think Spear should have attempted it. I think he should have, I don't know, just done anything else. Like, literally anything else would have been better than this play, because yeah, it's just, no, I don't know. Regardless, he's got a bunch of Marines out there. He may be thinking about just piling up on Marines, but running them up, double spine crawler, whole bunch of lings. Yeah, it's not a good idea. He is stopping the expansion from coming out though, which is, you know, it's not bad. The lings are going to have a go here, but some very nice micro from Spear is going to keep the Marines doing a lot of damage until they finally go down. And yeah, so quite a lot of lings dying there. But they do clear away enough space for a hatchery, which is fairly nice. Yeah, what is 17 lings to 11 Marines, which overall is not too bad, you know. It did seem like the lings were getting owned there, but considering that a Marine costs twice as much as a ling, in the end, I'd say, you know, pretty nice job. So, yeah, that's fine. That's quite fine. I think you got to remember that includes the Marines that died before. So, in terms of that individual battle there, it was probably quite a bit more even. Yeah, so the lings moving over. And see exactly what's going to happen here. There's a worker going around. Dougie going to scout out that there isn't a third base there. Which, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he's moving all the way over there. He's chasing this worker, I think. He really desperately wants to kill that worker. And he's in a better position than he was last game. He's got the expansion down a lot earlier. I don't think he lost any queens, whereas the previous game he was losing queens right at the start because of that proxy barracks play. Spears looks like he's coming out with something completely different. Double factory. Maybe Widow Mines, maybe Fast Hellbats. Fast Hellbats would not be a bad play, especially since it appears that Dougie really does like lings and likes the banelings quite a bit as well. You could use a couple of banelings right there, man. That would have just been rolling on in, destroyed a single supply depot, and havoc, absolute havoc in Spear's base. But Baneling Nest not quite there yet, and it's probably going to be too late. Actually pumping out a tech lab. Oh, man. Wonder what he's going to be doing with this. It's going for the pre-igniter with the reactor there. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be Hellbat drops all day. I assume Hellbat drops because they're the best way to do it. But we've got no starport yet. So maybe it's just going to be plain old Hellions and Hellbats running across the map. It's going to be interesting. Or maybe just plain old Hellions. I don't know. Nobody's ever won a game with Hellions. I mean, even against a Zerg player full of lings, nobody's ever won a game with just Hellions. You've got to have something else in there. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. It looks like Dougie is planning a is planning for some sort of Baneling bust. Is that what it's called? Baneling bust? I think it is. I had hoped he'd learned his lesson from last game that just rolling in and having a crack at Spear's base is not a good idea. He's extremely proficient in terms of defenses, and we can see the third bunker coming up here. The first two full of these guys. The supply depot is going to go down. These guys are going to be free to have a go. Oh, they've taken it out. The Ling's coming in, and Dougie does have a whole crap load of Lings. He's going to move right into the middle of that. Are we going to see him on hold position here? They're just going nuts on workers right now. No hold position. They're actively going after the Hellions, and it's unfortunate. He could have killed a hell of a lot more workers if he had just run in the middle, put them on hold position. They would have attacked everything in range without moving, and it would have meant a hell of a lot more workers died. Only 6 total have died so far, and I think 3 of them were from the original barracks rush, proxy barracks that Mr. Spear pulled out. So yeah, not all that much going on. The Hellions coming in. They're having a good crack. They're fighting Lings, which is okay, but they're also fighting Queens, which is not good. And eventually they do get taken down. As I said 5 minutes ago, nobody has ever won a game with Hellions. It just does not happen. You need something else. And I hope that this is not Spear's main plan, because, yeah. There we go. Marine's coming out as well. So that's his main plan. He's just using the Hellions to sort of wobble things up a little bit, soak up some damage, kill some Lings. Banelings are out on the way. And is Dougie like a Mutiling player? Is that what the deal is here? I think it's probably the case, but of course we've never seen a game go long enough to actually have the Mutiling out there. So here we go, the Lings coming out, and not quite on creep. They're going nuts. They're not doing a great job of attacking the Marines, though. They just ran straight past them. The Banelings chasing them. The Hellions doing some great micro to attack the Banelings. All the Banelings going down, so very, very nice stuff. And Dougie suddenly in dire straits, if he wasn't already, with absolutely no army on the field and absolutely no Banelings at all. So things are going to get cleared up quite nicely here. The Marines going to provide the pure DPS to take everything out, and the Queen's trying to heal, but it's just not working, and everything going down. There's a slight chance that the Lings could have taken out those Marines if it was just Marines, but with the Hellions in tow, nothing that Dougie throws out there is going to be enough to take these guys out. And that's it. GG, and Spear taking what most would say is the inevitable victory onto the way into the finals. So we will see. I think he's got some tougher competition than he may have had in the Hairy Bash 4. And let's talk about some of the players still in this tournament, still in the quarterfinals. We've got, actually, let's just double check August. August, and he had a few players. He had SWS, he had Mighty Kiwi, he had Hearts, he had Wally, yeah, but there was a whole bunch of players who were just, yeah, and there was a random spread as well, like half of all the, sort of like most of the, what I consider the really good players were in one side, and the other side was, you know, it was a bit, I don't know, I can't say much, but yeah, regardless, in this tournament, they're very, very nicely spread out, all of the exceptional players. So we got Arthur, and we've got Petraeus, and we've got King Kong. All 3 of them, all facing different people in the quarterfinals. So we could end up with a semi-final of Spear, Arthur, Petraeus, and King Kong, all in the semi-finals. That's insane. That is going to be absolutely crazy. And man, that's like, I don't think we've ever seen a semi-final with that many top-level players all in it. I mean, no, we got there in the Hairy Bash 1, I think. It was like Sage, Arthur, Pig, and Blisk together. And yeah, and quite a few bits all over the place. But it doesn't happen all that often. You know, usually players, they just, you know, sometimes they just decide, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to forget about this tournament. Like, I sign up, but I just forgot about it. So, and then you get that sort of things happen. And, you know, stuff like this happens. So, anyway, moving on. Spear is in the semi-finals. The next quarterfinal is Arthur versus Sol. So I said Arthur, but of course Sol, quite a decent player in his own right. And yes, he's, yeah, we'll have to see. I haven't cast a lot of him, I think. But who knows? Who knows? So I'll catch you guys then in the next quarterfinal. Have a good one. This has been Hairy Muppet. Hope you enjoyed this game.